told you to be nice, to be agreeable, to play by the rules and wait your turn. But the truth is, those who wait are forgotten. Power doesn't come to the passive, it comes to the one who seizes it with precision and without apology. Look around you. Most people are paralyzed by doubt, chained by fear, begging for approval like starving dogs. But not you. Not anymore. You are here because you're ready to kill weakness, to sharpen your mind into a weapon, to silence the endless noise of mediocrity. Confidence is not loud words, it is not fake smiles or shallow bravado. True confidence is cold, it is controlled. It is walking into a room and knowing the environment bends to you, whether you speak or not. It's the quiet knowledge that no one can shake your center because you've burned the weakness out of yourself. This is what they fear, a man who does not seek permission, a man who cannot be manipulated, a man who radiates certainty like a storm. Machiavelli taught that it is better to be feared than loved, because fear is reliable, love is fickle. And here is the brutal truth. If you do not cultivate your edge, you will be another forgotten shadow, stepped over by the strong. But if you forge yourself in discipline and sharpen your psychology, you become untouchable. That is why you're here. So this is your initiation. The moment you cross the line between the ordinary and the dangerous. Right now, I want you to declare it. Type it below, burn it into existence. I claim my power. This is not just a phrase, it's the first act of rewriting your destiny. Number 1, cutting away weakness. Weakness hides in comfort. It whispers that you've done enough, that you deserve rest, that tomorrow is the time to act. But weakness is a liar, and every time you listen to it, a piece of your edge is stolen. If you want to become dangerous, you must treat weakness like an enemy to be hunted, cornered, and destroyed. The strong do not negotiate with excuses. They execute without hesitation. The man who hesitates is the man who bleeds. You see, people respect the disciplined, not the comfortable. The one who rises before dawn, who sharpens his mind when others drown in distraction, who trains his body while the world decays, that man is untouchable. He does not need validation. His actions speak with the cold authority of inevitability. And make no mistake, discipline is the purest form of power. It's the only thing that can't be taken from you. Your possessions can be stolen, your friends can betray you, but your discipline, the ability to bend your will against your own weakness, that makes you immortal in the eyes of men. So hear me clearly. Cut away what makes you soft. Kill distraction, starve laziness, bury self-doubt under relentless action. If it doesn't sharpen you, it's dulling you. There is no middle ground. Every choice either feeds your weakness or fuels your dominance. And the world only bows to those who choose dominance. Now, seal this truth into your identity. In the comments, write, "Discipline is my weapon. Let it echo into the algorithm. Let it mark you as one of the few who refuse to kneel before weakness." This is not motivation, it is transformation. Number 2, the mask of power. Power is not always about who you truly are. It is about what they believe you are. That is the first secret most men never learn. They walk through life bleeding honesty, pouring out their insecurities, and wondering why they are overlooked, disrespected, and ignored. Understand this. Perception is reality. The man who controls perception controls outcomes. And the most dangerous men in history were never just warriors. They were architects of masks. The mask you wear is not a lie. It is strategy. It is the weaponized version of yourself. People do not see truth. They see symbols. They see stories. They see images they can easily interpret. And once you give them an image, they lock it into their minds. If you appear strong, they treat you as strong. If you project certainty, they submit to it. If you reveal fear, they feast on it. Humans are predators at heart, and predators smell weakness like blood in the water. That's why the mask must never crack. You don't owe the world your raw self. You owe it control. Mystery is leverage. Silence is power. When you speak less, every word becomes a bullet. When you reveal less, every action becomes a storm. This is why Machiavelli wrote that men judge more by the eye than by the touch. They trust appearances more than reality. Your mask is not just armor, it's your battlefield advantage. But understand this clearly. Behind the mask, you remain free. Your inner strategy, your real ambitions, your raw fire, those remain hidden where no one can reach them. And in the shadows of that secrecy, your power compounds. You become untouchable, unpredictable, unreadable. You move like a phantom, calm and calculating. They may try to study you, but they will never see the core. They will only see what you allow them to see, and that is power. From this moment on, you are no longer an open book. You are a fortress, a mirror that reflects back only what you decide. And when they cannot read you, they cannot control you. That is how you rise above them. Now declare it in the comments. I am unreadable. Say it with intention. Live it with precision. The mask of power is yours. Number 3, the ruthless edge. Mercy is a luxury of kings who have already conquered. Kindness without calculation is weakness disguised as virtue. The truth is simple. This world does not reward softness. It rewards precision, decisiveness, and the iron will to act when others hesitate. If you want to rise above the herd, you cannot afford to be sentimental when power is at stake. Good intentions don't move the world. Decisions do. Ruthless decisions. Look through history. Empires were not carved from the earth by men who played nice. They were forged by those willing to do what the average man could not stomach. Thrones were not given. They were taken by blood, fire, and cunning. The weak man waits for permission. The weak man asks for approval. The weak man folds under pressure. And because of that, he lives and dies unknown, invisible, forgotten. But the man with the ruthless edge cuts through hesitation like a blade through flesh. He commands not by asking, but by striking with certainty. This does not mean chaos. Do not mistake ruthlessness for recklessness. True ruthlessness is not wild destruction. It is controlled execution. It is the strategist removing pieces from the board with cold precision. Every move measured, every strike deliberate, no wasted effort, no wasted energy. Hesitation is death. Doubt is poison. To delay is to give your enemies ground. They will never return. A single moment of softness can unravel years of progress. The edge must always remain sharp. Machiavelli understood this. He warned that men are selfish, ungrateful, and fickle. They will betray you for convenience. They will turn on you if it benefits them. If you give endlessly, they will consume you until nothing is left. But if you rule with firmness and calculation, if you command with a sharp edge, they will not dare test you. Love fades, respect endures, fear protects, and the man who understands how to balance respect and fear walks through the world untouchable. The ruthless edge is not cruelty, it is necessity. It is the ability to cut away anything, any distraction, any habit, any relationship that dulls your blade. You cannot afford to surround yourself with dead weight. You cannot afford to carry weakness into battle. A dull sword is more dangerous to the wielder than the enemy. Sharpen yourself relentlessly. If a choice weakens you, cut it out. If a person drains you, cut them off. If a habit steals your time, starve it until it dies. And when the moment comes to strike, strike without hesitation. Do not ask, do not doubt, do not wait. Act with a cold certainty that makes others freeze. That is the mark of the dangerous man. He does not negotiate with hesitation, he destroys it. Mark this transformation now. Declare it into existence. In the comments, write, "My edge is untouchable." Let those words burn into your mind. From this moment forward, you are not soft, you are not hesitant, you are not weak, you are the edge, and nothing can dull you. Number 4, mastering emotional control. The most dangerous man is not the one who shouts the loudest, flexes his muscles, or flies into blind rage at the slightest insult. Those men are predictable, and predictable men are weak. The most dangerous man is calm, cold, calculating, unshaken no matter what storm is raging around him. He is the one who cannot be manipulated, provoked, or seduced into losing his center, because the man who masters his emotions becomes the master of everyone else. You must understand this. Emotions are weapons, but weapons in the wrong hands are liabilities. If you do not control them, someone else will. And make no mistake, people will try. They will bait you with insults to draw out your anger. They will dangle temptation to cloud your judgment. They will whisper fear into your ear to freeze you in place. And most men, ordinary men, fall for it every single time. Anger makes them reckless. Fear makes them hesitant. Lust blinds them to the trap right in front of them. They are predictable, like pieces on a board. But you are not here to be predictable. You are here to become the one who moves the pieces. Control is not about becoming empty. It is not about killing your emotions. It is about mastering them, bending them to your will. Think of emotions as fire. In the hands of a child, fire destroys everything. But in the hands of a blacksmith, fire creates weapons that last centuries. You feel the burn of anger. Use it as fuel for precision, not chaos. You feel the weight of fear. Let it sharpen your awareness, not chain you in hesitation. You feel desire. Keep it caged and unleash it only when it serves your higher mission. Emotions are energy, and energy, when controlled, becomes raw power. History proves this truth. The kings, the emperors, the generals who bent nations to their will, they were not slaves to impulse. They were masters of composure. Alexander, Caesar, Napoleon, they all knew one thing: lose your composure and you lose everything. A single moment of desperation, panic, or rage can destroy years of careful planning. But the man who remains calm in chaos, the one who observes his enemies like a surgeon cutting open a body, he becomes untouchable. When others lose their heads, he becomes the axis around which everything turns. That is masculine stoicism, not silence for its own sake, but silence as a weapon. The refusal to let the world see your cracks, the discipline to never bleed in public, the strength to wear calm like armor while the world screams. When you smile, let it be deliberate. When you speak, let it be calculated. Every visible emotion must serve strategy. Everything else remains hidden, deep inside, where no one can reach it. Here's what happens when you master this. People start to orbit you. They feel your certainty when they are uncertain. They sense your composure when they are falling apart. Enemies cannot bait you because you do not take the bait. Rivals cannot predict you because you give them nothing to read. This is why Machiavelli insisted that appearances must be controlled, because the man who controls what others see controls what others do. And make no mistake, this is not easy. It requires training. Just as the warrior sharpens his blade daily, you must sharpen your mind. You must practice holding the line under pressure. You must learn to face insult with indifference, to endure discomfort without complaint, to move through chaos as if it were silence. Every test of your composure is an opportunity to grow sharper, colder, more unshakable. Most men will never do this. They will remain slaves to impulse, ruled by triggers, tossed like leaves in the wind of their own emotions. That is why they will remain forgettable, but not you. If you commit to this path, you become the fortress that no enemy can breach, the calm in the storm, the steel no fire can melt. Now declare it. Write it below with certainty. I own my emotions. Not someday, not when it's easy. Now, because this is not just a phrase, it is your shield, your fortress, your weapon. When you own your emotions, nothing and no one owns you. And when nothing owns you, you become truly dangerous. Number 5, strategic detachment. Attachment is the invisible chain that keeps most men enslaved. They cling to approval. They cling to comfort. They cling to people who drain them, to habits that weaken them, to illusions of security that shatter the moment life applies pressure. They think they are holding on for stability, but the truth is darker. What they hold on to holds them down. Every attachment is a leash, and someone, somewhere, is holding it. The man who seeks power must learn to sever those chains. He must master detachment, but understand this clearly. Detachment is not apathy. It is not laziness. It is not giving up on life. No, detachment is controlled distance. It is the art of seeing clearly because you are not blinded by need. It is the ability to act with precision because nothing outside of you dictates your moves. Most men are slaves to what they cannot release. They fear loss so much that they chain themselves to what they should have destroyed long ago. But here is the truth that Machiavellian psychology demands you accept. If you cannot walk away from something, then it owns you. And a man who is owned is already defeated. Machiavelli himself warned rulers of this weakness. He taught that those who relied on mercenaries or allies too heavily would fall the moment that support vanished. A ruler's power must come from his own foundation, not the shifting sands of outside help. Apply that same principle to your life. If your happiness depends on one person, you are weak. If your identity depends on a job, a status, or a possession, you are weak. If your sense of self collapses when others withdraw approval, you are already conquered. The untouchable man builds his empire on himself, his discipline, his willpower, his clarity. Nothing external can destabilize what is internal. Detachment gives you vision. It turns chaos into a chessboard. Where others see insults, you see tactics. Where others feel pain, you see lessons. Where others collapse at loss, you see openings to rebuild stronger. Imagine a rival insulting you. The ordinary man reacts instantly, blinded by rage, losing all control. But the detached man, he studies the insult like a scientist examines a specimen. He decides if it is worth a response or if silence would be deadlier. He never bleeds in public because he knows that exposure invites predators. That is the essence of detachment. It turns you from prey into predator. And here is the paradox. Detachment does not make you cold and hated. It makes you magnetic. People are drawn to what they cannot fully possess. They chase what slips through their fingers. When you are not desperate for approval, they give it. When you are not desperate for validation, they respect you. When you are not desperate for attention, it seeks you. This is the law of power. The one who needs nothing commands everything. But detachment is not isolation. It does not mean you never love, never fight, never connect. It means you are never owned by those things. You love with clarity, not desperation. You fight with calculation, not chaos. You connect with others because you choose to, not because you cannot survive without them. Detachment makes every choice sharper because you are always free to walk away. Freedom is power. And the man who can walk away from anything is the man no one dares to control. Think of this in war. A general who is desperate to protect everything becomes predictable, weak, and trapped. But a general who can sacrifice, who can cut off his own limbs if it ensures victory, that general becomes unstoppable. The same principle applies to you. If you cling, you are weak. If you release, you are strong. Your edge comes from the willingness to burn the bridge if it serves the mission. But here is the reality. Detachment requires training. You must train yourself to endure silence without reaching for noise, to endure solitude without feeling empty, to face discomfort without running to the nearest distraction. Every test of detachment is fire forging steel. Begin small. Cut one distraction today. Cut one dependency tomorrow. Piece by piece, you will realize that you were never truly free until you became untethered. And the reward? Control. The man who is detached becomes immovable. When others panic, he remains still. When others beg, he remains silent. When others cling, he releases. That aura, calm, certain, untouchable, is the hallmark of the dangerous man. People sense it immediately. They respect it instinctively, and they fear it silently because they know you cannot be bribed, manipulated, or seduced by weakness. You are too free, too detached, too strong. Understand this. Most men will never taste this freedom. They will die clinging to what kills them. But you are not most men. You are here because you hunger for mastery. You are here because you are willing to cut away what weakens you. You are here because you want to be untouchable. So declare it into the world. Burn it into your identity. Write it below. Nothing owns me. Say it with cold conviction. Live it with ruthless consistency. From this moment forward, you are free of the leash, free of the chain, free of the parasite of need. And when nothing owns you, everything bends to you. Number 6, the art of silence. Power does not always roar. Power whispers. Power waits. Power watches. And sometimes power says nothing at all. The man who understands silence wields one of the most devastating psychological weapons known to mankind. Words can reveal your fears. Words can betray your insecurities. Words can give away your strategy. But silence, it gives them nothing. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is leverage. Silence is control. Most men cannot handle it. They rush to fill the void with nervous chatter, empty laughter, or desperate explanations. They overspeak to prove themselves, to justify themselves, to earn validation. And in doing so, they expose everything, what they fear, what they crave, what they hide. They think they are protecting themselves with words, but in truth, every extra word is a weapon handed to the enemy. Silence, however, turns the battlefield upside down. It creates tension. It forces others to project their own thoughts, their own assumptions onto you. And that is the essence of power. When they cannot read you, they cannot control you. When you master silence, you master tension. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They panic when it stretches on. They start talking just to fill the gap, to escape the pressure. But the silence doesn't pressure you, it pressures them. And in that pressure, they reveal themselves. They talk too much. They confess more than they intended. They explain what was never asked. You, meanwhile, remain still, calm, unreadable. You have learned to weaponize their weakness. And here's the truth. When you speak less, every word you do speak becomes heavier, more deliberate, more impactful. When the silent man speaks, people lean in. They pause, they analyze, they remember. His words carry weight because they are rare, sharpened by restraint. The chatter of ordinary men fades like static, but the words of the man who knows how to hold silence strike like thunder. This is pure Machiavellian psychology. Conceal more than you reveal. Let others drown in noise while you master the stillness that unsettles them. If you reveal everything, they will use it against you. If you reveal nothing, they remain uncertain, and uncertainty is power. People fear what they cannot predict. They respect what they cannot measure. The unreadable man is always at an advantage. Think about predators in nature. The lion does not roar before the strike. It waits. The serpent does not hiss before it strikes. It watches in silence, then strikes with precision. Nature already knows what most men forget. Noise warns the enemy. Silence prepares the kill. Apply this to life, and you will always be steps ahead of those who broadcast every thought, every feeling, every weakness. History proves this. Leaders who understood silence bent nations to their will. Consider Marcus Aurelius, a man of power and composure, who wrote more in private than he ever revealed in public. Consider Machiavelli, who understood that rulers must appear strong even when uncertain, and silence was the mask that concealed the cracks. Consider generals who stood unmoved before battle, their stillness breaking the spirit of armies who mistook silence for something more terrifying than words could ever describe. Silence has toppled empires, broken rivals, and created legends. But silence is not passivity. It is not cowardice. It is not emptiness. Strategic silence is deliberate. It is active. You choose when to speak. You choose when to remain still. You are not mute. You are selective. Every word is a tool. Every pause is a weapon. Every silence is a strategy. You allow silence to hang heavy, to make others squirm, to force them to expose themselves, while you conserve your power and sharpen your strike. Here is the deeper benefit. Silence is discipline. It kills the urge to explain yourself to those unworthy of explanation. It kills the weakness that drives you to overshare. It kills the habit of begging for validation. Weak men talk too much to prove themselves. Strong men remain quiet because they already know who they are. The man of silence does not need to say he is powerful. His presence already makes it undeniable, and silence grants you another weapon: control of timing. The world is obsessed with speed, with immediate replies, with impulsive reactions. But the man who can pause, who can wait, who can remain still while others rush, he dictates the rhythm. He owns the frame. In negotiations, in relationships, in conflict, the one who controls timing always wins. And silence is timing sharpened into a blade. Make no mistake, mastering silence requires strength. You must resist the urge to fill the air. You must endure the discomfort that drives others to babble. You must learn to breathe in the quiet without flinching, without breaking, without giving them the satisfaction of a reaction. When insulted, stay silent. When baited, stay calm. When pressured, hold still. Every second you hold your silence, they bleed control. Do not underestimate how magnetic silence makes you. In a world addicted to noise, the man who speaks less becomes mysterious. People lean closer. They study you. They wonder, what is he thinking? What is he planning? Why does he not react? That uncertainty makes them cautious, respectful, even fearful. The man of silence is not ignored. He is unforgettable. So from this moment forward, stop bleeding words. Stop giving away your thoughts. Stop speaking to be understood by everyone. Instead, speak with calculation. Use silence as a weapon. Make others uncomfortable with what they do not know. Make them respect you for what they cannot predict. Let them fear the unknown inside you more than the noise of those around them. This is not theory. This is transformation. If you master silence, you master presence. If you master presence, you master perception. And if you master perception, you master power itself. Now, anchor this into your identity. Write it below with certainty. My silence is power. Let that phrase become your mantra, your weapon, your shield. While the world drowns in endless noise, you will carve your dominance from silence. You will become unreadable. You will become magnetic. You will become untouchable. And in the end, it will not be your noise that makes you feared. It will be your silence. Number 7, the weapon of observation. Most men stumble through life blind. They see, but they do not observe. They hear, but they do not listen. They move, but they do not study. And because of this, they are forever caught off guard, forever reacting, forever one step behind. But the dangerous man flips the board. He sees everything. He studies patterns. He reads people like books they didn't know they were writing. Observation becomes his hidden weapon, and with it, he conquers without needing to raise his voice, without needing to expose himself, without needing to move recklessly. Here is the cold truth. People reveal themselves constantly. Their body language, their tone, the speed of their breathing, the hesitation before they answer. All of these are cracks in the armor. Most men ignore them. They rush through conversations, blinded by their own ego, thinking only of what to say next. But the Machiavellian man does not rush. He watches, he records, he learns. A man's fears are written in his posture. A rival's insecurity is written in the way his eyes dart when questioned. A liar exposes himself with the tiniest shift in tone. The average man misses it all, but the observer sees, and once weakness is seen, it can be exploited at will. Observation is not passive. It is active, disciplined. It means training your awareness until it becomes second nature. It means cataloging behaviors, studying human patterns, learning which reactions betray which vulnerabilities. If a man grows restless under silence, you know how to pressure him. If he reacts violently to insult, you know how to bait him. If he reveals his ego with every boast, you know exactly where to strike. People carry their weaknesses like banners. They simply assume no one has eyes sharp enough to notice. But you will notice. And when you notice, you gain control. Because control is not about raw force. It is about foresight. The man who sees further dictates the game. This is why masters dominate amateurs in chess. Not because they are stronger, but because they can see 10 moves ahead while the other barely sees one. In life, you must become that master. Your rivals, your allies, even your enemies, they are pieces on the board. Study them long enough and their movements become predictable. Then, when you strike, it will feel to them like fate itself, because they never saw it coming. Observation also shields you. When others are blind, you are prepared. You see betrayal before it manifests. You sense the crack in an alliance before it breaks. You feel the tension in a room before words confirm it. While ordinary men stumble into traps, the observer steps aside with ease. This is the difference between prey and predator. Prey reacts, predator foresees. If you want to be untouchable, you must live as predator. Always watching, always calculating, always a step ahead. Machiavelli taught that rulers who ignored human nature were doomed. And human nature is not hidden, it bleeds through constantly. Men reveal what they want, what they fear, what they envy, what they hide. All of it is visible to the one who watches with cold precision. Observation makes you a master of human nature, and mastery of human nature makes you powerful beyond measure. But there is another layer: patience. Most men are impulsive. They speak too quickly, react too harshly, reveal too much. The observer waits. He lets others unfold, reveal, and expose themselves fully. He gathers intelligence while doing nothing more than sitting still. By the time he acts, he already knows everything. To others, it looks effortless. But the truth is simple. Patience and observation made the outcome inevitable. Now connect this with silence. Silence is not absence. It is the pressure that forces people to reveal themselves. When you remain silent, they become uncomfortable, and in their discomfort, they start talking too much. They confess, they explain, they try to fill the void. Every word they spill is information for you to collect. You remain unreadable while they bleed themselves dry. That is asymmetry of power. You know everything, they know nothing. To master observation, you must train relentlessly. This is not instinct. It is discipline. You must listen more than you speak. You must notice the twitch of a hand, the flicker in an eye, the pause before an answer. You must walk into every room as the one who studies first, acts second. While others are obsessed with being heard, you become obsessed with knowing. And knowledge, when kept hidden, becomes the sharpest weapon in existence. Here is the hidden effect. When you observe deeply, people feel it. They feel stripped under your gaze. They sense you see what they're hiding. They may not know why, but they will hesitate around you. They will tread carefully. They will respect you, because deep down, they fear you. This fear is not loud. It is quiet, but it is powerful. Because once people believe you cannot be deceived, they act differently around you. You bend their behavior without a word. From this moment, treat every interaction as reconnaissance. Every conversation is an opportunity to gather information. Every word someone speaks, every movement they make, is a clue about how to bend them, how to use them, how to break them if needed. Collect these clues, store them, wait, and when the time comes, use them with precision. That is how you win wars before they begin. That is how you rise above men too blind to realize they were already beaten the moment you started watching. Now anchor this truth into your being. Write it below. I see everything. Say it with conviction. Let it brand itself into your identity. Because once you claim it, you begin to train it. And once you train it, the world becomes transparent. Rivals expose themselves without knowing. Enemies collapse before striking. Allies remain loyal because they sense they cannot hide betrayal. The world belongs to the observer. The blind react, the impulsive destroy themselves, but the one who sees, the one who studies, the one who waits, he already owns the outcome. And once you see everything, you become something far greater than dangerous. You become inevitable. Number 8, the law of control. The highest form of power is not brute force. It's not yelling commands or flexing in front of others. The highest form of power is control. Cold, unshakable, ruthless control. Most men don't have it. They are slaves to impulses. chained to emotions, ruled by their own reactions. They get angry and explode. They get jealous and lose focus. They get desperate and beg. And in those moments, they hand their power away. The dangerous man never does. He owns himself. He does not lash out when insulted. He does not fold when tested. He does not beg when abandoned. His control is a fortress, untouchable, immovable. This is stoic masculinity at its purest, the refusal to surrender your center to the chaos of the world. Understand this. If someone can make you angry, they control you. If they can make you jealous, they control you. If they can break your calm, they control you. The man who cannot control himself will always be ruled by others. Machiavelli warned rulers of this. The moment a leader loses composure, allies scatter and enemies strike. Control is not about killing emotion, it's about mastering it. Anger becomes fuel, not recklessness. Fear becomes awareness, not paralysis. Desire becomes energy, not slavery. You don't repress, you direct. That's why controlled men are magnetic. While others rage, you stay calm. While others panic, you stay steady. People feel it, they trust it. Enemies fear it. And here lies the paradox. Control looks effortless. The calm presence that unnerves rivals and attracts loyalty is not an act. It is discipline forged in discomfort. You must train it. Practice restraint when insulted. Hold your ground when pressured. Delay your reaction when tempted. Every act of control reinforces your throne. From this day forward, make control your law. Do not hand your power away. Do not let the world dictate your state. If you must burn, burn in silence and let it fuel strategy. If you must strike, strike with precision, as if it was always planned. Now declare it. Write it in the comments. I am control. Make it your creed, because the man who owns himself owns the battlefield. And once you own the battlefield, no one can move without your permission. Number 9. The untouchable path. You've walked through fire in this monologue. You've sharpened your discipline, mastered your silence, built your edge, and claimed your control. But this is only the beginning. Dangerous confidence is not a single act. It is a way of living. It is waking up each day with a fortress mind, a sharpened will, and the cold clarity that nothing can touch you unless you allow it. Remember this: the weak live reacting, the powerful live creating, and the untouchable man bends the world to his vision, not the other way around. You are no longer playing their game, you are writing your own. So I'll leave you with this command. Do not let these words stay on this screen. Carve them into your actions. Train them into your identity. Live them until others whisper about your presence in silence, because they can feel your power before you even speak. That is when you'll know you've crossed over. That is when you'll know you've become dangerous. Now, seal this transformation. In the comments below, declare your power one last time. Write it. I am untouchable. Let the world know you have stepped fully into this path. And while you're there, tell me what kind of content you want to see next. What aspect of psychology, power, or philosophy you want me to tear open for you. This channel, Psygrythm, is a weapon, and you help me aim it. Before you leave, don't just disappear into distraction. Take the next step. On the end screen, there's another video waiting for you, one designed to carve even deeper layers of strength into your mind. Watch it now. Let it continue what we've built here today. And finally, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because if you're serious about becoming untouchable, you cannot afford to miss what's coming next. This is your path. Walk it with discipline. Walk it with clarity. Walk it with cold, relentless power.